Hello students, welcome back. We're going to begin now Chapter 1B Notes. Okay, Chapter 1B Notes begins off with a term called measurements. Measurements must be reliable and accurate as well as easily communicated to others. Okay, a standard is an exact quantity that people agree to use for comparison. The SI system, or what we oftentimes call the metric system, are universally accepted. Okay, the first definition also has to do with length. Length is the distance between 2 points. The basic unit for length is the meter. Volume is the amount of space an object takes up. The basic unit of volume in the metric system is the liter, and we usually symbolize it with a capital L. Okay, the metric unit used to measure the volume of solids is called the cubic centimeter. 1 cm to the third is equal to 1 milliliter, and that's an important number to remember later on, especially when we get to the labs. Mass is the measure of the amount of matter an object has. The basic unit for mass is the gram or kilogram. We oftentimes use the staircase model to be able to move the decimal point between the different units in the metric system, and we will go over this more thoroughly in class as a discussion. Density is defined as the mass per unit volume of a substance. Density is equal to mass divided by volume, and that's the formula. Water's density is 1 gram per milliliter. Solids density is expressed as grams per cubic centimeter. So whenever something is a solid, we have to be able to express it as grams per cubic centimeter, and when something is in the form of a liquid, we will use 1 gram per milliliter. Objects with the density greater than 1 sink, and less than 1 float. A derived unit is the next definition, is a unit of measurement that is obtained by combining other units. Example is length times width times height to find volume. Temperature on the metric system, standard unit is usually the Kelvin, but in this class we will be using the Celsius. And just to give you some comparisons, 0 degrees Celsius is when water freezes, and at 100 degrees Celsius it boils. Body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, and room temperature is 21 degrees Celsius. To be able to also give you some comparisons about the Kelvin, 0 Kelvin is the coldest known temperature, and it is known as absolute zero. And that's the point at which all molecular motion down in the subatomic level of the atoms, all the movement down there ceases. It actually stops. And of course right now that is a theoretical temperature. We haven't quite reached that yet, but we're getting close. Kelvin is the metric unit, again used in the metric system. Just to give you an idea, to find the Kelvin temperature from Celsius, you add 273 to the Celsius number. And that's a good understanding that you need to have to be able to convert from Kelvin to Celsius, especially when it comes time to get into chemistry. Okay, measuring volume of a regular shaped object, all we simply do is we take volume is equal to length times width times height. Now to find the volume of an irregular shaped object, we use what is called the water displacement method. And that method is just simply starting off with, let's say, a graduated cylinder. We would put 30 milliliters of water in it. We would drop our object into the graduated cylinder, and we notice that the water level increases to 35 milliliters. Subtracting the two from each other, we find out that there's a difference of 5 milliliters. Or 35 minus 30 is 5, and thus we know that the volume of that irregular shaped object is 5 milliliters. And as far as I can tell right now, students, that concludes our lecture on Section 1B Physical Science. Thank you very much.